Following the signs, welcome in. This is a collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But if you've been drawn here by the title, there's a message here for you. So let's dive straight in. I've put the poggy. We are going to have grace for me right now because I don't know what's going on, but Mercury is playing games with me and my self-expression at the moment. But anyway, we have the foggy bog. And we also have the water spirit. There's a lot of emotion that's going on for you right now. And it could have you feeling like, what you are desiring in your life is not working out. You could be feeling very susceptible to being pulled into scenarios that are blocking your manifestation coming into fruition, or so it feels at this time. However, whilst in this, there's this desire to feel like I should be doing something, I should be making it happen, I should be moving forward right now. But this little guy, amidst the fog, he waits and he waits and he waits until his right moment, because he has to act on instinct. He knows if he tries to find the fish amongst the fog that he's potentially going to fail. And so he waits in the stillness, paused, until it starts to lift and he has his moment to strike. This is the same for you right now. Right now, if you were to try and move forward, let's think of this fog as our emotions. Water represents emotions. Condensed water is confusing. These are emotions that are unable to be properly navigated through if you were to rush. So Spirit is calling you to pause because, again, this flow of water, this manifesting, you don't want to be blocking what you're trying to manifest right now based on what you're currently feeling with this push to move forward. I don't know if we're making sense, but let's go in a little bit further. Heartache. Yeah, you could be feeling, caught up in pain at this time. The feelings of heartbreak can be so heavy when they first hit. It's very hard to see past, to see past the pain, especially if it's very fresh. How do I move forward? How do I now reestablish my life? Meanwhile, there's this beautiful desire of newness that is so close to being obtained. Breaking free from something, whether self-imposed or whether mutual. This is still, something that requires you to have a bit of patience with yourself here and allow this grieving process to happen. I love the appearance of the seeker here because you are seeking to obtain higher knowledge in order to evolve, in order to keep reaching for what's attainable for you right now. Full moon in Aries could have been very symbolic for you. And coming off the back of the eclipses as well, amidst already change, I feel like this full moon could have really brought out some self-empowerment for you and has really brought you back to these manifesting your dreams right now. Recognizing that they are attainable, even though they don't feel within your proximity right now. The necropolis. There's been lots of heavy anxiety. There's been lots of dark thoughts that are really keeping you in a situation that feels like, well, how do I get past these trialing and testing times? As someone who has been there, although it might not feel it at this time, it will. It will get better. It will lift. But, you've also got to have allowance for yourself too, to let the pain come up. You're allowed to feel sad. It's almost like, it's very similar to that grieving process when we lose a close relationship. What's currently around you? Could be connecting with a masculine right now. Or there could be a masculine that might be symbolic to you in your life. You know, as a female, like, I've only got obviously the female perspective of breakup. But, you know, I don't believe this to be any different for the opposite sex. You know, we all go through it when it happens, when it occurs. And you could really feel like there's just this massive mountain to climb. You know, there's obstacles in the way, or there is like a highest peak that you're really wanting to reach. You know, this is your dreams. Maybe some of you are thinking abroad. Maybe this is a man from overseas. You yourself could be from overseas. But I mean, there's been clouded thoughts, this mental anxiety that's really been taking a hold of an individual right now. You know, and the energy around this person, while they're not only trying to achieve their dreams, but experiencing, you know, somewhat of a depression. We've got the mice around, you know, whoever is currently surrounding you or whoever this may be, you know, are people that are not reciprocal. These are people that are, you know, just coming to take that last little bit. And, you know, it's usually when you've gone too, you know, when do we find mice? When do the mice come out? The mice come out when we're all in bed and we're all asleep, you know, when they've got free range to make their moves. So it's like there's a lot that's happening around you that is really taking from you. And this could just be your energy, you know, constantly sending messages or sending messages through social media so that you have no choice but to, you know, show that you're active and fucking when did they read it? What time? You know, that's all energy sucking as far as I'm concerned, especially if someone has your telephone number. Yeah, come on. Might be 2025, but, you know, what was I going to say? I was going to say common sense or just, you know, general kindness and integrity. Is there anything more from this deck? Yeah, the cross, the clover, the sickle. Yeah, there's going to be some cuts that come within your life. And, you know, these cuts are just, it's going to be like opening up the floodgates. It's going to be like removing what the beavers have built here and allowing that water to just rush through. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are opening up and unexpected ones, but these are all destined to come to you. All right, let's get some tarot. Let us get some tarot. Where are we going? Let's go with this guy. So let's have a look in at your situation. Let's see what's blocking. Let's get you some advice. If you haven't already, I'll encourage you to hit the like and subscribe to Following the Signs. I've had some amazing gains in the last couple of weeks, and I'm now currently sitting at 111 subscribers. And the 111 is really giving me a buzz right now. I'm not going to lie. So, you know, if you are that 111th subscriber, you the man, you the woman. And yeah, so let's go. Spirit, tell us about this situation and what is blocking. That's just advice for the collective within their situation and whatever is blocking them currently. All right. So there's been like there's no growth in something. We've got the 10 of meals in the reverse here. You know, what was once something really vital, something that was, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Something that was once, you know, something good to eat has just become like, you know, getting old shitty food that's been at Macca's in the takeaway Bain Marie for hours and hours and hours, and, you know, you're starving and that's what you get to eat. And it's like, you know, while you're so hungry and it's like something to put in your gut, it's not nourishing, tastes like shit. And it's making you think about the money that you just spent and the time wasted. getting this. You know, something is just really letting you down in life. Something is not feeding you. Something is not helping, you know, what you want to bring into your life grow. And what's blocking this is like the fact that someone is making you question what you are intuitively feeling and knowing to be true about yourself and about your path. You know, no wonder there's this heavy mental anxiety, you know, if you are having someone make you go against your gut. That can cause a whole lot of messed up, fucked upness. And I will swear for that because I've experienced it and it's not good. And it can take a long time to rebuild not only like trust in others, but trust in yourself. And it's not talked about enough, right? You know, what is working and what your advice is there's someone that could be really stagnating you right now. And you're really being encouraged to just let it to continue to die. This is something that's been moving, or someone who moves very slowly in your life. This is someone that's like, you know, just always dragging their feet. I feel like this is someone you probably have to clean up after a great deal. Someone that arrives late but leaves early, you know, before cleanup happens. And it's really a time to acknowledge, you know, what isn't working out right now is for a reason and is for like your opportunity to be able to move on from it. The outcome here, we've got the Four of Drinks, you know, representing the Four of Cups. This is you really learning to, you know, not let those amazing opportunities that want to come to you pass you by, but also, you know, pouring back into yourself and making sure it's that best damn fucking juice in town, okay? What are you feeding yourself? Who's been dumping their emotions onto you currently? That's causing you to, you know, not be able to separate them from your own. Let's get some further clarification. What more can you tell us about this Ten of Nails? Yeah, Ace of Drinks. This could have been like a new, you know, romantic opportunity that came towards you, something that felt quite warm initially. You know, little coffee date here and there, little sweetening. You know, and you began to invest in this. There's been a lot of good energy and time that's been put in it. And at some point, it was something that was quite emotionally fulfilling. Something that, you know, you were feeling the feels inside. But now I feel like it's more like digestive interruption that you could be feeling. Two of Drinks here too. Yeah, definitely a connection. It's be someone that you spend a lot of time going to cafes with, or someone that likes to eat out a lot. You know, this is something that's also costing you amongst this fucking inflation that we're all living in. You know, and I feel you to be quite a wholesome person. You know, you're probably someone that likes to cook a meal yourself from scratch. You know, doesn't mind to wait till you get home. So what's going on here with the High Priestess in the reverse? Strength in the reverse. Nine of Pleasures in the reverse. Someone here could be a Leo. You could be born in 1986. And you could be someone that's, you know, quite the traveller. Generally, you know, used to being able to up and go when you please. Used to, you know, being able to explore yourself internally and explore higher learning here. You could have like a link with Egypt. You could find yourself really fascinated by that and the history that comes along with it. It's like you've really opened yourself up and dropped your guard in a situation, and it's exposed you and had you quite vulnerable and susceptible to someone else's gameplay here. What's the advice with this Knight of Meals in the reverse? Page of Tools. We've got the Eight of Pleasures here. Yeah, I feel like you're going to put a halt to communicating with somebody. And this is something that, if you were to speak with them, it's only going to like antagonize the situation. This is also somebody that could be from like very hot and cold and like happens just like that. And this is all like, gaslighting techniques, someone that's making you feel like you got to tread on eggshells around them. Spirit's really calling you to, like, this was someone that could be really, oh, you go do that, you go do your little thing over there, like keeping you tied up and busy. And I feel like you're going to have like a moment of just like, hang a minute, a moment of rebellion where you're going to be trying and reacting in a different way. That's really going to, what's it going to do, Spirit? Yeah, it's going to make this person pretty unhappy with the 10 of drinks in the reverse. But I feel like this is what somebody needs. Someone's been sitting back drinking the premium drinks and they can only afford a $4 bottle of, $4 chuck. Yeah, this could definitely cause some chaos. This might feel like you are, someone might blame you for causing them to have to, because of you. But, you already know what's been going on here. And this is where you start to recognize, well, hang on a minute. You were just doing that to me. Okay, you got to remember here, like you got to reclaim your power. And just remember, for these individuals, like any reaction is a reaction for them. So you're really encouraged here to just watch, just look, just observe, say nothing. What's the closing advice here? Yeah, we've got the Knight of Drinks in the reverse, and we've got the Death in the reverse. You can't force anybody to change, all right? Change has got to be an internal thing. It's got to come from within. And I feel like right now you're really being encouraged to just allow someone to be in their own emotions, all right? You've got enough to deal with, and trying to be responsible for someone else's emotions right now is where we are ending up back here. Because you already know this situation, you know what is to be true for you, and it's time to put yourself first. Closing angel message. Balance and emerging. Once you regain this balance within and you're supported, you might feel like, oh, this is really going to rock the boat. No, it's not. You're supported, and it's about, withdrawing and regaining your own inner balance and really allowing yourself time and space in order to regain it, for starters. And you're not going to heal where you were hurt. You will notice, like, the more that you start really feeding into this, the more that, your connection with source and whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest and bring into your life is going to be opening up for you. This is also about, not allowing others to tarnish your good nature. You can continue to keep putting into the people that reciprocate you back. And it's like the more that you remain this open heart that you have, the more that love is able to come into you. So you are open to receive. Because there is like a tendency here to really be blocking yourself. And it's all because of somebody else. I'm going to wrap this one up. If it resonated, drop me a comment. If not, like and subscribe to Following the Signs, and I'll see you in the next one.